When you hear about the benefits of habits for the first time, or have your seventh go at trying to fix your life for good, it's easy to fall into the trap of doing too much too soon. As we're primed to expect immediate results from everything we do nowadays, we tend to forget that lasting change doesn't happen overnight. In today's video, we'll discover the problems of habit overload and how to be patient with ourselves to improve bit by bit. Hey, my name's Julian, and on my channel I talk about how to create a better life for yourself, learn new things, and some of my personal insights during my self-improvement journey. When it comes to habit overload, there are three main things to consider. The first one is a lack of focus and this overwhelming feeling when you're trying to do too much too soon. When you attempt to change too many habits too soon, you're probably making small improvements, but you're not really noticing them because they're so small that you have to carry them on for a long time to notice the effects in each of them. This lack of focus and the lack of seeing the progress makes it really hard for any habit to stick, because it's always way more fun to see small wins than to set the highest goals and never reach them. Of course, there's also the thing that you kind of want to have that North Star that's guiding you always, but that shouldn't be the primary goal of every day, because of course you won't reach it tomorrow or the day after. But you need to break that down and make the small things. That's what Atomic Habits is all about. If you want to go for a run and make that a habit, the goal is not to run a marathon every day, but the goal has to be to put on your running shoes, at least at the beginning. If you perfect putting on your running shoes every day, then it's way easier to have another goal way higher. So that was the example of how to do it, how to implement a habit. And the small wins are the things that lead to more small wins, and over time they become something great. Let's take a different example. Let's take the person who wants to implement everything at once. They say they want to run, so they make the goal to run 5 kilometers every day, which is quite a lot if you're not used to it. And at the same time, they want to have a better morning routine. They want to meditate, they want to journal maybe in the morning, and they want to get sunlight, they want to have a cold shower, and then they want to have healthy breakfast, and then they're going out for a run. If they've never done any of the 5 things before the run, then it's very likely that they're not gonna go for the run, because your brain doesn't know what the hell you want from it. It's way easier for your brain to implement one new thing in, let's say, a month than trying to implement 10 new things. It's never gonna work. And it's not just that, but it's also the second thing that we get into now, which is willpower. A lot of people know that by now, but I'm gonna say it again. Willpower is not an infinite resource. You have to be aware of that whatever you want to implement is something that will probably take willpower. And if you've depleted almost all your willpower and you say you want to run after a hard day's work, then it's very likely that you're just gonna end up on the couch again. So if you have struggled in the past with making your habits stick, then definitely think about when you were trying to implement your habits. Were you trying to meditate in the evening at, 10 p.m. right before sleep? Then it might be really hard for you to do it, depending on how hard the day was. So think about how to use your willpower. It's still possible to have new habits in the afternoon after work, for sure, but you have to make it very easy on yourself to follow these habits. And trying to implement 10 habits at once, or even 2, can lead to you depleting your willpower too fast. And of course, implementing habits should not be something that fucks up the rest of your life. So you still want the willpower that you normally have throughout your day available for you when you need it. You want to have your new morning routine, including meditation, healthy breakfast, a cold shower and everything. And then you want to, on top of that, go for a run. Then maybe you do it a few days. Let's say you even do it for a few weeks. But at some point you're just gonna be burned out and you're gonna ask yourself, is this really helpful? Are these the things that I want to do? And you're gonna drop one of them. Probably the one that's hardest for you. But that's the one that you should focus on first. And as soon as that becomes easy and you don't have to think about it, then you can add in the other ones one by one. And that situation that I just described is the perfect transition to the third point, which is stress and burnout. Because believe it or not, but these habits that are supposed to make us happier and more productive can actually lead to us feeling super miserable. Because implementing new habits can be quite tricky, especially if you have no idea how to do it. And although stress can be quite helpful for short periods of time. For example, a deadline. It can be very detrimental when it comes to personal growth, because personal growth is something that you can't always be productive with or at, because it's something that you learn, you make mistakes and everything, and we want to have it as a sustainable process over our whole life, basically. So at the start of your journey, you definitely don't want to be too hard with yourself. You shouldn't be stressed about getting every single thing right. Just focus on one thing, one very, very small change. I know it can be hard because you want to change your life at once, but just let me tell you that it's not working like that. If you're older, then you definitely know that. But when I was younger, like 18, 19, and starting with all of this stuff, I wanted to, do it immediately, like get into it. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna do this 1 month and then I'm gonna be successful, I'm gonna be rich and famous, and I'm gonna be just happy. Now, like a few years after I started, I noticed that it's just a lifelong journey and that you have to try out a few things, drop a few other things, and that way slowly build your character and build your life as a person. So the 3 problems of habit overload: the lack of focus on one thing, the willpower depletion, and increased stress through all those habits. And I definitely want to encourage you to think about these 3 and where they may have gotten into your way when it came to habit formation. And when you're done with that, I want you to tackle your next habit. Break your habit down in the smallest possible thing that you can do and that you can consistently do on a daily basis, because then it's easiest to stick with them. And now, if one of your bad habits is that you're watching too much Netflix, then definitely check out my video on the 7 things to do instead of watching Netflix all evening. And then I say we see each other in the next one. Bye.